You're not aging. You're awakening. 10 Buddhist habits for a radiant life. Aging is not your enemy. It's your awakening. What if I told you that aging isn't something to fight, but something to revere? That every wrinkle is not a flaw, but a signature etched by time, carved by love, loss, and laughter. Our culture worships youth. It sells us creams to erase, surgeries to reverse, illusions to distract. But in doing so, it blinds us to a sacred truth. Aging is not decay. It is revelation. The body may slow, but the spirit sharpens. The mirror may change, but the soul finds clarity. Like a river carving its way through ancient stone, you are becoming something deeper, something stronger. The beauty of youth is in bloom, but the beauty of age? It's in becoming. So the question is not, how do I stay young? It is, how do I age with grace, radiance, and power? In this video, I'll share with you 10 Buddhist-inspired habits that go beyond the surface. Habits that help you grow wiser, feel more alive, and carry yourself with quiet confidence through every season of life. So take a breath. Let the noise fade. Pour yourself a warm cup of tea, because what comes next might just change the way you see aging forever. 1. Dress with grace. Let your clothing reflect your inner stillness. There's an old Zen saying, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. But in a world obsessed with trends, youth, and external image, we often forget that true elegance doesn't start in the mirror. It begins within. In the West, fashion is often a performance, an identity we wear for others. But in the Dharma, what we wear becomes a reflection of our relationship with presence, with mindfulness, with reverence. Let me tell you a story. In a quiet alley of Kyoto, there lived an elderly woman named Maro. For decades, she wore the same indigo kimono. Its fabric, faded but clean. Every tear, mended with intention. Every fold, arranged with grace. When asked why she never changed it, she simply said, "The world may change, but my heart remains steady like the mountain. My clothing is an extension of that stillness." She wasn't trying to impress anyone. She was embodying something deeper. And that is the secret. When you dress with intention, your clothes become an extension of your soul. Think about it. How do you feel when you wear something that truly fits you? Not just your body, but your being? Doesn't it shift your energy? Doesn't it soften your breath? Clothing in its most mindful form is not vanity. It is a spiritual expression. So choose what you wear not to escape your age, but to honor your essence. Imagine a soft linen dress that moves like a breeze. A deep-hued shawl that wraps around you like a sunset. A pair of shoes that remind you to walk slowly, with reverence. These are not garments. They are reminders of your calm, your grace, your quiet power. And here's something most people forget. Your aura arrives before your outfit ever does. So wear softness, wear dignity, wear peace. Not for others to admire, but for your own soul to rest within. And remember, true style is never loud. It whispers. Stay with me because in part 2, we'll explore a habit that can keep you youthful from the inside out. Not through beauty treatments, but through wisdom. 2. Keep learning, stay curious, stay timeless. There is a quiet kind of radiance that no cream, no makeup, no procedure can offer. It is the glow of a mind that never stops growing. A Buddhist monk once said, "The mind is like a garden. If you don't tend to it, weeds will grow." And in the later chapters of life, this couldn't be more true. We often associate aging with slowing down, retreating, shrinking. But what if aging is the perfect time to expand? Not your schedule, but your spirit. There's a story of a Zen master who, at 90, began learning calligraphy. When someone asked why he was starting so late, he smiled and said, "Because when I turn 100, I want to be great at it." What a beautiful answer. It reminds us, growth has no expiration date. As long as we are breathing, we are becoming. Imagine waking each day with wonder, approaching the world like an open book, full of pages yet to be turned. It's not just about formal education. It's in the way you listen, the stories you absorb, the questions you still dare to ask. You don't need to master philosophy to evolve. You just need to be willing to stay open. Read that book you've been curious about. Sign up for a course, even if you're the oldest in the room. Learn to cook something new. Try writing poetry. Let curiosity be your daily practice, your quiet rebellion against stagnation. And here's the truth. A woman who never stops learning never truly grows old. She remains dynamic, engaged, alive, because the mind, when nourished with curiosity, becomes timeless. So don't let your age define your limits. Let it define your depth. Up next, Part 3 will explore a habit that doesn't just change how you move, but transforms how people experience your presence. It begins not in your body, but in your breath. 3. Stand tall, move with purpose. Have you ever watched someone enter a room without saying a word, yet they command attention simply by how they carry themselves? The Buddha once taught, "The way we move reflects the way we think." A slouched posture often mirrors a mind weighed down by worry. But when we walk tall, when our spine aligns with presence, we don't just appear confident, we become it. Let me tell you a story. There was once an old monk who moved through the world like a slow breeze. No matter how chaotic the temple, how loud the city, his steps remained slow, deliberate, and deeply grounded. One day, a young disciple asked, "Master, why do you never rush?" The monk smiled and said, "Because where I need to be is exactly where I am." That is the power of presence. And posture is its first expression. Imagine a golden thread gently lifting you from the crown of your head, guiding your spine into alignment, shoulders relaxed, breath steady. Each step becomes an affirmation. I'm here. I am grounded. I am enough. This is not about how others see you. It's about how you move through your own life. When you walk with awareness, you begin to treat each moment as sacred. You move not from urgency, but from clarity. Try this today. Before your next errand, your next task, pause. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Straighten your spine. Breathe deeply. Then take a step, as if the universe is moving with you. Because in truth, it is. And remember, people often hear your energy before they hear your voice. So let your presence speak of calm, strength, and grace. Without needing to say a word, how you carry yourself tells the world how deeply you respect your own journey. And speaking of journeys, there's one part of you that silently tells your story before you even speak. It's not your posture. It's not your smile. It's the silver strands woven into your hair. Up next, we'll explore why those gray hairs you've been taught to hide may actually be your most radiant feature. Stay with me. This part is not about aging. It's about awakening. 4. Embrace your silver crown. Wear your wisdom with pride. In many cultures, gray hair is seen as something to fight, dyed, hidden, dismissed as a symbol of decline. But in Buddhist thought, gray is not the color of fading. It is the color of rising. The Buddha himself spoke of 4 signs that awakened him. One of them? Seeing an old man, not with fear, but with clarity, realizing that aging was not a curse, but a call to wake up. Let me tell you a story. In a quiet mountain village, there lived a woman named Setsuko. Her hair, silver as moonlight, shimmered every morning as she sat outside knitting blankets for the village children. One day, a young girl asked, "Grandmother Setsuko, why don't you dye your hair like the other women?" Setsuko smiled, running her fingers through her strands and said, "Because each one carries a memory, a lesson, a piece of who I became. To hide them would be to erase the journey that made me." That little girl never looked at her grandmother the same way again. And perhaps after today, you won't look at your own reflection the same way either. Your silver hair is not something to be fixed. It is a living testament to the storms you've weathered, the love you've given, the wisdom you've earned without shouting. Care for it, let it shine. But wear it not as a cover, wear it as your crown. Because beauty doesn't fade with age. It deepens. It softens. It tells a truer story. And maybe, just maybe, that story is the most radiant part of you. In the next part, we'll go deeper, not into appearance, but into embodiment. We'll explore how nourishing your body like a sacred temple isn't about vanity, it's about reverence. 5. Nourish your body like a sacred temple, not a project. We often treat the body as a project, something to sculpt, to control, to critique. But in Buddhist wisdom, the body is not a project. It is a temple, a vessel, a sacred partner in our path to awakening. The Buddha taught, to keep the body in good health is a duty, otherwise, we shall not be able to keep our mind strong and clear. Let that sink in. Caring for your body is not indulgence. It's a form of devotion. There's a story of a monk who was asked, "Why do you care so much for your body if you believe in detachment from the physical?" He smiled and replied, "Because this body is my only vehicle to enlightenment. If I neglect it, how will I complete the journey?" That changes everything, doesn't it? Eating well, staying hydrated, resting deeply. These aren't just wellness tips. They are acts of spiritual respect. Every sip of water is a cleansing ritual. Every nourishing meal is an offering to the temple within you. Every gentle stretch is a prayer of gratitude for the miracle of motion. You don't need to be a fitness expert or follow a perfect diet. You just need to listen. Listen to what your body whispers, not what society shouts. Move it daily, even slowly. Feed it color and life. Fresh fruits, warm soups, clean water. Wrap it in fabrics that breathe. Let rest be holy. Let food be kind. Let movement be meditation. Because when you honor your body as sacred, it rewards you with vitality, clarity, and a quiet glow that radiates far beyond the skin. Next, we'll uncover a truth that rarely gets spoken in beauty magazines. That elegance has nothing to do with appearance, and everything to do with the way you make others feel. 6. Kindness, the true mark of elegance. What makes someone truly beautiful? Is it perfect skin? A flawless outfit? Or is it something much softer and far more powerful? There is no greater elegance than a kind heart. The Dalai Lama once said, "My religion is very simple. My religion is kindness." And perhaps there is nothing more transformative, not just for others, but for yourself. Let me share a quiet story. At a monastery nestled in the hills, an elderly woman came every morning, not to meditate, not to chant, but to wipe the wooden benches outside the hall. She never sat on them. One day, a monk asked her why. She smiled and said, "Because the one who sits here next may be weary. If I can make their moment more pleasant, then my day is complete." That is kindness. Not loud, not performative, but steady, thoughtful, rooted in awareness. True elegance is not how you present yourself. It's how you hold space for others. It's in the way you listen without rushing to respond. It's in the warmth of a smile, the softness of your gaze, the depth of your attention. And here's the secret. Kindness doesn't begin outwardly. It begins within. Speak to yourself the way you would a beloved friend. Forgive yourself for your stumbles. Celebrate your quiet progress. Treat your inner world as gently as you treat others. Because a person who is kind to themselves radiates a peace that invites others to soften too. Hold a door. Leave a kind note. Make a warm meal. Say, "Thank you," and mean it. These are not small acts. They are ripple makers. The most unforgettable people are not those who sparkle. They are the ones who make you feel seen, heard, and held. So if you wish to remain radiant at any age, don't chase beauty. Be the reason someone else believes in it. And next, we move the body. Because beauty without vitality is a dim flame. 7. A healthy life is a happy life. Move like you're saying thank you. We often treat movement as a task, something we should do, another thing to check off the list. But in the eyes of wisdom, movement is not exercise. It is reverence in motion. It is how we say thank you to the body that carries us. It is how we turn the ordinary into the sacred. There once lived a retired doctor named Lee. Each morning, he would stand in the quiet corner of a city park, his arms flowing slowly through the air like reeds in the wind. A young jogger once stopped and asked, "Why do you move so slowly?" Dr. Lee smiled and said, "Because I'm savoring every moment. When you rush, you miss life itself." His steps were small, but his presence was vast. The truth is, movement doesn't have to be fast to be powerful. Stretching gently, walking mindfully, dancing in your kitchen. These are not chores. They are prayers of aliveness. Each breath is a blessing. Each stretch is a celebration. Each step is a reminder. You are still here. You are still becoming. So move not to fix yourself, but to feel yourself. Not to burn calories, but to stoke joy. Not to change how you look, but to remember who you are. Whether it's yoga under morning light, a stroll among trees, or swaying to music that only your heart can hear, let your body move like it's grateful to be alive. Because when you treat movement as meditation, you turn your body into a sanctuary, not just a structure of skin and bones, but a temple of spirit and strength. When you move with presence, you return home to yourself. But what happens when the people around you pull you away from that home? You can nourish your body, tend to your soul, and still feel drained. But because energy is contagious, and not everyone is meant to walk this path with you. 8. Choose your circle wisely. The company you keep shapes the soul you grow. There's a truth many ignore, but the wise always know. Not all company is good company. You can share laughter with someone, but still leave the conversation feeling hollow. You can spend hours together, yet feel completely unseen. The Buddha once said, "An insincere friend is more dangerous than a wild beast." Because while a beast may harm your body, a false friend can wound your spirit. Let me tell you a story. A young traveler once sought the advice of a monk. asking, "Master, how can I tell who my true friends are?" The monk said nothing. He led the traveler to a still pond, picked up 2 stones, one light, one heavy, and dropped them into the water. The lighter stone floated, dancing with the ripples. The heavier one sank, pulling straight to the bottom. Then the monk said, "True friends are like the light stone. They move with you, support you, never drag you down." It's so simple, yet so profound. Look at your circle. Who makes your spirit lighter? Who sees your growth and celebrates it? Who gently challenges you to rise, but never shames you when you stumble? And just as important, who drains you? Who leaves you questioning your worth, your path, your light? Choosing your circle is not about judgment. It's about discernment, because the people around you will either feed your peace or starve it. So be intentional. Surround yourself with those who speak with honesty, listen with empathy, and walk with you, not ahead or behind, but beside you. And if you haven't found them yet, become that kind of person yourself, because the energy you offer is the energy you attract. The right people don't just support your journey, they help you remember how to enjoy. And that joy? It doesn't always come from profound teachings or deep meditation. Sometimes, the most sacred thing you can do is laugh. 9. Laugh often. Let joy be your medicine. We often think spiritual people must be serious, still, silent, solemn. But the most awakened beings often carry the lightest hearts. Laughter is not the absence of wisdom. It is the sound of wisdom at ease. In a village nestled between rolling hills, there lived an old man named Haru. His laughter echoed through the morning mist like temple bells. It wasn't loud or wild, just warm, honest, alive. He laughed at the way birds squabbled over crumbs. He chuckled at his own forgetfulness. He found delight in the smallness of things. A crooked teacup, a curious squirrel, the first bloom of spring. One day, a traveler asked, "Haru, what's your secret to happiness?" He replied, "I laugh not because life is perfect, but because I've stopped expecting it to be." That's the key. Joy doesn't come from fixing everything. It comes from being present with what is and letting go of what isn't. A light heart is not a careless one. It is a heart that has carried sorrow and learned to release it. So laugh, not to escape your pain, but to soften it. Not to impress, but to express your freedom from control. Let yourself giggle at the absurd. Let joy sneak into your daily rituals. A clumsy dance while cooking, a shared inside joke, the way your dog tilts its head when you talk. These moments, small as they are, become the thread that stitches your soul back together. Because in the end, a joyful spirit is not just radiant. It's magnetic, healing, unforgettable. And now we arrive at the final chapter, the one that holds all the others together. Because if there's one habit that transcends age, time, and appearance, it's evolution. 10. Never stop evolving, you're still blooming. We live in a world that's obsessed with arriving, with being finished, complete, polished. But in truth, you are not a product. You are a process. A living, breathing, unfolding work of art. In Buddhist thought, enlightenment is not a destination, it's a direction. It's not about becoming perfect, it's about becoming real. There once was a young disciple who came to his teacher, exhausted. "Master," he said, "I've tried so many teachings. When will I reach enlightenment?" The master pointed to an ancient tree and replied, "That tree has stood here for over a century. and still it grows. So ask yourself, are you allowing yourself to grow? Or are you clinging to an old version of who you once were? Because the truth is, growth doesn't always look like rising. Sometimes it looks like rest, like confusion, like beginning again, like letting go. Think of the lotus. It blooms not in clear water, but in the mud. It rises through darkness, never rushing, never resisting. It simply trusts the process. You too are a lotus, still unfolding, still reaching toward the light. Yes, there will be days when you feel stuck. Yes, you'll face moments of fear, doubt, and stillness. But that is not failure. That is the soil in which deeper roots take hold. The Buddha taught, you are exactly who you need to be in this moment. And yet, you are still becoming. So try something new. Ask better questions. Let go of outdated identities. Surround yourself with mirrors, not masks. People who reflect your truth, not your performance. Above all, be patient, because growth is not linear. It spirals, it deepens, it sometimes circles back, only to leap forward when you least expect it. And when it does, you'll bloom in ways even you could never have imagined. Aging is not about fading. It's about refining, about softening what's rigid, deepening what's true, and letting go of what no longer serves you. And now you have the tools, not to fight time, but to walk with it, gracefully, radiantly, wisely. If these reflections have touched something in you, if even one word reminded you of your strength, your softness, your still becoming self, then this video has served its purpose. But the journey doesn't end here. There is still more to unfold, more lessons to learn, more moments to meet with grace. So if this message resonated, I invite you to become part of this quiet community. Leave a comment, share the wisdom you carry, or the part of your journey you're still learning to love. Like this video so it reaches someone who might need it today. And subscribe to Quiet Wisdom for more gentle reminders that aging is not a curse. It is a calling. Until we meet again, may you walk with presence, may you speak with kindness, and may you always grow toward the light.